Hello, hello.
Mr. White, we can hear you, Coach White. Go ahead.
All right, all right. How's everyone doing this evening? If you haven't already done so, let's get started and state your name and the city and state you're calling in from.
Hi, this is Nia from the Philippines.
Welcome, welcome. Who else do we have on the line?
Good evening, good evening. Shine is on the line from New York.
Welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line? What you want to do, guys, is position yourself in a quiet location.
Yolanda from Ohio.
All right, welcome, welcome. Everybody, position yourself in a quiet location, grab pen and paper so that you can take some copious notes, and definitely mute out your line so that you won't disturb the integrity of the call after you've stated your name and the city and state you're calling in from. So if you haven't already done so, please announce yourself.
Hi, I'm Trina from Vermont.
Welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Hey, Yolanda's here from Delaware.
Welcome, welcome to the call. Who else we have on the line?
Hi,
What up?
Tasha's here from Hawaii.
All right, welcome. Who else
What
we
up,
have on the
Coach
line?
White? What up, Coach White? This is Indiana, Dallas, Texas, baby.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right, good deal. And so definitely, who else we have on the line, guys?
Shayla from Nevada.
All right, all right. Who else we have on?
Coach White, Tracy Fisher's online, sir.
Welcome, welcome. Who else has joined us?
Hi, I'm Ayana from New Jersey.
Welcome to the training. Who else we have on the line?
Randy from Tennessee.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the training. Guys, what you want to do is position yourself in a quiet location and make sure that you have pen and paper handy so that you can take some copious notes. The information that's going to be disseminated on this evening will absolutely take your business to a whole nother level. So if you haven't already done so, we want to take another minute or so of introductions. And so please state your name and the city and state you're calling in from.
Tyree calling from Dallas, Texas.
Welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Stephanie Allen, Baytown, Texas.
Welcome, welcome to the training. Who else we have on the line?
Jeannie from Toronto, Canada.
All right, Canada in the house. Who else we have on the line?
Jenkins from Columbia, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Coach Vivian White, Rose Sharon, Texas.
Welcome, welcome, Coach White. Who else we have on the line?
Jeremy Parker, Elgin, Texas.
Welcome, welcome to the training. Who else we have on the line?
Chantel from New Jersey.
Welcome, welcome, New Jersey in the house. Who else we have on the line?
Hello, this is Amber Jenkins from San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, hello, hello, welcome. What you want to do, guys, is position yourself in a quiet location, grab pen and pad so you can take copious notes. You want to make sure that you're mute out your line after you announced yourself. You want to jot down all this information that's going to be disseminated tonight because it's designed to take your business to a whole nother level. Who else we have on the line? All right, all right. Well, we're at the top of the hour. So we're going to take about 30 more seconds of introductions before we get started. So who else we have on the line?
Pamela Ferguson, Dallas, Texas.
Welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Sylvia Anderson, Cypress, Texas.
All right, welcome, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Sherry Washington, Cypress, Texas.
Good, good. Welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Jackie from Virginia.
Virginia in the house. Who else we have on the line?
Shayla from New Jersey.
New Jersey in the house. All right, guys, 10 more seconds of introductions. Who else we have on the line?
Nicole from Pearl City, Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii in the house. All right, welcome. Who else we have on the line?
Judith Rose in Dallas.
All right, welcome, welcome, Dallas in the house. All right, guys. So all right, repeat that. I didn't hear you.
Andrea from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, Toronto, Canada in the house. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the training tonight. It's at the top of the hour, and we want to go ahead and not miss a second. So, you know, the person I'm about to bring to the line has 15 years in the network marketing direct sales profession. He's been featured in Successful Home magazines and and other networking magazines all across the globe. You know, Mr. Wilkins has built a combined organization of tens of thousands of distributors that span, you know, over 23 different countries, you know, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, South Africa, Nigeria, and the United Kingdom, just to name a few. His organization has generated tens of millions of dollars in revenue over the years, and Mr. Wilkins and his wife, Portia, have been amongst the top 50 income earners in their previous 2 companies. Mr. Wilkins earned his first $1 million before the age of 30, guys, before the age of 30. So, you know, and currently he's ranked, he's built an organization, and the organization is ranked number 89 in It Works Global out of a list of 200 business partners all across the world. So, you know, Mr. Wilkins' most significant accomplishment is being a wife to his husband to his amazing wife, Portia Wilkins, and a father to his incredible daughter Chandler and his newborn son Aiden Wilkins. So without further ado, I want to bring to the line front and center my coach, my mentor, and my friend, Mr. Jared Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins, are you there, sir?
Man, I am here live and in living color. The wife to, just kidding. I'm excited, man. How are you, sir? Can you hear me okay?
Coming through loud and clear. Take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, partner, for that robust and professional introduction. You set an incredible tone for our session tonight. I am elated, espresso excited to really hear from the young lady that's going to be sharing with us today, because I've got such a tremendous respect for what she's been able to do, what she's been able to create, and the success that her and her team are having currently inside of It Works Global. You know, one of the things that I love about our business is that we get a chance to hear from people that have done and gotten to the top of this company, and we get to hear from them. They're so selfless when it comes to sharing their pathway. And so tonight, we're going to hear from one of the young ladies that she was one of the first people that reached out to my wife and I when we first partnered with It Works about 2 years ago. Nobody knew we were in the company. We were kind of underground. So it's interesting that she found out that we were here somehow or another, but I was going through some of the DMs and some of the messages that we had, and I saw that first message of her welcoming us to It Works. And so it's been an absolute honor. Every time I see her, it's always an honor. And her spirit is so warm and so inviting when I see her at different conferences and just all over social media. I was actually having a conversation just the other day, and this is what spawned the idea to see if she would be willing to come share just not only her story, but also her strategies of building the business. You know, for those of you that are on our mastermind session for the first time, I want you to understand what you're going to get from this particular platform. You know, every single Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, you ought to mark it in your calendar, because we come together, not just our team, but teams all over It Works. And I venture to say teams in different companies that are in all of the leadership that's a part of this team and a part of this company, and want to hear the message. They want to hear the strategies, the techniques, and the story the stories that are inside of our company. They actually plug in, they listen, and they watch, and they take notes, and most importantly, they go apply this information. So 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Monday. I know we've got people right now here in the U.S. I know we've got people on the continent of Africa that are listening. I saw many of you on here from Ghana and Nigeria and South Africa. I know many people are from Hawaii. Aloha, mahalo. I saw my Hawaii folks on here. Many folks from Australia. Aussie. Oi. Y'all are on here as well. All of you from the country of Texas. I saw you. I saw you from Texas that are on here. So congratulations as well. I can't forget about our friends across the pond over in the UK. I know it's 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and they are actually on live. So I want to welcome each and every one of our partners, our friends. I consider you our family. Light up the chat. Let us know if you're in the chat. Come on, let us know where you're coming in from, what city, what state. Light up that chat. Light it up like it's a Christmas tree. I see New Jersey is in the house. Hey, Carissa, good to see you as well. I'm giving you time right now. I'm giving you time to send out your last bit of text messages, put up your posts, let your folks know that we are getting ready to hear from a legend on 2 feet. You're getting ready to hear from someone, and I don't use these words lightly, ladies and gentlemen. This young lady has done some remarkable things. She's not only in the top 10 income earners when it comes to It Works Global, she is in the top less than 1% of distributors and entrepreneurs, I venture to say leaders, in the entire profession of direct sales and network marketing. Now, let me put that in perspective. You know, in our profession, there are more than 100 million people that are independent distributors in the profession. Welcome, Nashville. I see you, Tennessee, in the house, that are in this profession. And I want you to understand something here. This is a profession that generates over $200 billion a year in revenue, and over $100 billion are paid to people like you and I for marketing, distributing, and promoting different products and services around the world. The young lady you're getting ready to hear from tonight is one of less than probably 500 people, not in It Works, but in the world, when it comes to our profession, that earn the type of money she earns on an annual basis. Only about 500 people around the world, when it comes to the network marketing profession, earn about $1 million or more a year, are 7-figure earners, where they can show you a tax return or 1099 where it has shown 7 figures, $1 million or more for the year. So I don't want you to take this for granted. I know for a fact you want to go hear from Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Bob Proctor or some of these other influencers or speakers or trainer, Brandon Bouchard, and some of these folks. They would charge you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to get an hour of their time, of their wisdom. Write this down. Wisdom comes with wounds. You're about to hear all of this wisdom that this young lady has. And what's so impactful is the fact that she's been involved and committed. That's a word. She's been committed to not only her business and to her dreams, but to It Works for the last 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let us light up the chat just for that alone. 15 years. What have you done for 15 years besides work a job? 15 years. What business have you committed to? 15 years. What relationship have you committed to? 15 years of the ebbs and the flows, the ups and the downs. 15 years of the compensation plan changes and the strategy changes. 15 years of no Facebook to now Facebook. 15 years of rap parties to host a post. 15 years of 5 legs to 3 legs. 15 years, ladies and gentlemen, of not just getting started, but getting and staying committed. That's who you're about to hear from tonight. Something I wanted you to understand as well. Last year alone, her business, and I want you to write this down, her business generated over $23,855,707 in revenues. Are you listening to me? 23 million in sales last year. Last year alone, her team, 2019, they enrolled over 104,472 people into the It Works company. That's between loyal customers and new distributors, 104,472 people. She is not only an ambassador diamond, she is a Millionaire Club member. She's a top 10 money earner inside of our company. She's a bad mama jamma. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome and bring onto the line right now the incomparable, none other than Mrs. Melody Mcfarlane. Are you there, young lady?
Oh my gosh, I'm here. Oh my gosh. You make me sound like I am somebody.
You are.
You know what? I am so honored to be here, Jared. I appreciate you and Portia so much. You know, it's just an honor to whenever I'm asked to speak anywhere. And, you know, I don't take that lightly. I pray throughout the day when I'm going to be speaking on a Zoom somewhere and just ask God to just, you know, for me, just speak through me. speak to whatever anybody needs. And the one thing that I really want you guys to understand is that, you know, I hope to give you hope. You know, when you realize I'm just me, you know, I'm just me. And my husband and I have been in network marketing for 30 years and had been doing network marketing for 15 before we got into It Works. And, you know, it was, I mean, wow, what we've gone through. We were 34 years old at the time when we got into our first network marketing company, and we saw the vision. We saw the, you know, this business vehicle that could take us from where we were to where we wanted to be, and just thought everybody would want to do this. Why wouldn't everybody want to do this? You know, it made sense to us. And, you know, it just gave us you know, that dream. You know, I don't think people really know how to dream. They know how to wish. But a wish is just a wish. It's out there and you have no way of getting it. You just wish for it. But when you have a real dream, you have a vehicle that can get you that. And all you got to do is put the work into it, you know, and make sure you're in the right vehicle at the right time with the right leadership and the right products. And that was what happened to us. For the first 15 years in our network marketing adventure, we were not in the right vehicle. We were not at the right time. We were not with the right products. But I will tell you, you know, God is in total control. And he knew that we needed to change as people, you know, and we never heard of personal development. You know, in our first company, they were so good at teaching personal development and building that dream, getting you to believe that if you can see it and you can believe it, you can achieve it. And that was a new concept for us. You know, I remember Blair writing, my husband's name is Blair, and I remember him writing on the bathroom mirror that he wanted to make $75,000 a year out of our first network marketing company. $75,000 a year. Little did we know we would end up making that in a month, but it was way down the road, you know, way down the road. I mean, it was a good 17 years later when we were making that kind of money. Wow. And, you know, but we didn't give up because we knew that if we could find the right thing, put the effort in, change who we needed to be as people, because, I mean, we needed a lot of changing. You know, I think we equated at one time all the books and the tapes and the seminars and the events that we went to and everything, the money we invested in ourselves ended up being like a Vanderbilt education in personal development. And so I don't regret those 15 years that we didn't really make any money and spent way more. You know, we made little bits here and there, but nothing to brag home about, you know, to brag to anybody about, nothing that got my husband free or me free. You know, we allowed me to stay home so that I could take care of the kids, but, you know, that was at a sacrifice financially. And so getting into network marketing was, to us, it made sense. Neither one of us had a college education. I went 6 months to college and said, I don't want to do this. It had there was nothing at that time in my life that I wanted that college was going to get me, you know? So I dropped out. I was a college dropout. And so, you know, we just were working and trying to feed 4 kids and make ends meet, pay the bills, you know? And that's where we were when we got into It Works 15 years later. Blair was still working. And in fact, we had almost given up on network marketing at that point. Wow. Because it changed us and we became better people. We became better spouses to one another. We became better parents to our kids. Yeah. And, you know, but we weren't making the money. And Blair said, I'm going to put all my focus back into my construction business. That's what he did. He was in construction. He said, I'm going to put all my focus, everything that I've learned these past 15 years, and I'm going to put it into my construction business. That's the only way we're going to make it. And he said, and then you just need to go get a job. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to get a job. I had been 15 years without working a job, and I didn't want to go back to work, but I didn't want to not contribute. Yeah. So I got into a very pink cosmetic company.
Okay.
And all right, real pink one. And I started working my way up that career path. Mm-hmm. And I really wasn't looking for anything at the time that It Works came into my life. You know, and I got a phone call from a friend of mine that said she was going to a wrap party. Wow. And I was like, oh, like gift wrap and greeting cards? And she goes, no, it's some kind of body wrap. And I'm like, yeah. I said, don't get your hopes up. It's just water loss, you know. And I kept trying to think how in the world, in my mind, how are they going to wrap themselves? I mean, how are they going to do this? Because then I only knew of a full body wrap, like a mummy, you know. And in fact, probably about 3 months before that, I had ordered this powder, and it had these gauze bandages with it or whatever. And I had to dump this powder into boiling water and stirred it all up, and then dunk those bandages down in there. And I got Blair to wrap me. Oh boy. From neck down like a mummy. I stood there butt naked, and he wrapped my arms and got it. And he was like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, just do it for me. Just do it. And he laid me down on the bed. He took a great big roll of, the plastic that they have in the construction companies, some big old rolls of black plastic. And he pulled that out, put it on the bed, and he helped me get up in the bed, and I laid there for about an hour. And when we got all done and got unwrapped and everything, it just I didn't get much of a result. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind, you know. But my friend went to this party, and she called me the next day, and she goes, you know, that thing really worked. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. She said, and all I did was wrap my stomach. And I'm like, oh, wow. Well, tell me about it. And she said, I don't know. They explained it was not water loss. And I said, yeah, but there's nothing out there that'll do that. And she said, well, that's what the girl said. And I said, well, give me that girl's number. I'm calling her. And so I picked up the phone and I called this girl. Her name was Kim. And I said, you don't know me, but I heard about your wrap, and I want to know how it works. Why is it not water loss? And she proceeded to tell me, and it made sense. And I thought, okay, that's plausible. So I drove an hour to her. Wow. And picked up one of those wraps and brought it home. And I called my friend, and Vicky, and I said, hey, you know what to do with this thing. It was just in this little package, you know. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't have a clue what to do with it. You know what to do. Why don't you come over after you get off work and put this thing on me? But don't say anything to Blair, you know, because I just don't want to hear it right now. All right. So it worked. It worked really good. I was impressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Everybody's going to want this. So I called Kim back and I said, hey, I need to come get another wrap. So the next day I drove out there, another hour there and an hour back, and I brought this wrap. And as soon as I couldn't wait for Blair to get home. And as soon as he walked in the door, he's in construction, so he was hot and sweaty and just, you know, he barely put his lunchbox down. And I said, hey, I'm onto something here. I want you to do something for me. He's like, what? And I was like, I got this wrap, and I want you to put this wrap on. And he was like, nah, I ain't doing that. And he turned around and he walked off. And I'm literally chasing him through the house saying, Blair, I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. It's amazing. I promise you. And he said, what are you going to do with all that pink stuff? I had thousands of dollars worth of pink stuff in my house. I said, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it at all. Just trust me on this. I'm going to make a bunch of money. And he was like, honey, I always support you in anything you do. That's my puppy. I'm sorry. Hey, shh, 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 quiet.
Remember the basics.
And so, yeah, that's my Bonnie Blue puppy. She's brand new. We just had her 10 days. So anyhow, he said, I've always supported you in everything you've ever wanted to do. He said, but seriously, this thing's not going to work. And I said, just trust me, please. So I put it on him. He slept in it. And the next day he got better results than I did. And I'll never forget, he looked up and he goes, wow, maybe you are onto something. So I called this Kim back and I said, hey, I want to do one of those wrap parties. And so that was on Thursday. And she said, well, I'm going to be going into the hospital on Wednesday. And I said, can we do it Tuesday? And she goes, okay. So from Thursday to Tuesday, I got on email because this is 2005 and we didn't have social media and we didn't really have texting, but I got on email and I emailed 15 of my friends. Okay. And I said, oh my gosh, you guys, I have tried the most awesome product ever. And these are people that had, seen us doing the other network marketing companies. And they pretty much had said, you know what, we love you, but don't ask us to buy another product. Don't talk to us about another opportunity. We're just over it, but we still love you. You got friends like that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I question whether or not they're real friends if they don't support you in everything that you do, Okay. But they were interested in this and they were like, it really works. And I'm like, yes. I said, bring $20 over on Tuesday and we're going to wrap your fat. And so here they come. Out of the 15 that I invited, 12 actually came. The other 3 called and said, I can't get there, but can you get me one of those wraps? Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, this was not happening in my pink company ever. And none of the other things that we'd ever done did that ever happen. So here they showed up and I'm telling you what, it was just crazy in my house. Mm-hmm. All these women were being wrapped. They all got results, every single one of them. And out of those 12 people, 9 wanted to be loyal customers and 3 wanted to be distributors. And they were, at that time, it was $299 to sign up.
Okay. Not $300 to get started.
$300.
So
yeah.
not 99 or like 49 that we're doing that. Okay.
$300.
Okay.
But they got product. They got wraps, they got facials. Okay. We had about 7 or 8 products at the time. Okay. So I was off and running and I hadn't even signed up yet. And I was like, hey, I know the drill. I'm getting in first. And so I got in and it just took off. And back then, if you just signed up, you got a fast start on that person that signed up. Yeah. You didn't have to, it wasn't tied to customers. Okay. So on a $300 kit, we got 100 fast start. And then we had a $35, just a basic distributorship that didn't get any product or anything, but that just kind of put them into the door as a distributor. And we got a $30 fast start on them just for signing up. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, it went nuts. People were calling me, hey, you don't know me, but my friend was telling me about your wraps. And I even lost my voice, Jared. I lost my voice. And Blair I told him, I said, go to the health food store and go get something for my throat. I can barely talk. And he comes back with this spray. I think it was called Singer's Saving Grace. And I sprayed it in my throat and he made hot tea with lemon and honey. And he just kept saying, just keep talking, baby. Just keep talking. Just keep talking. Because I was on the phone constantly with people asking about this wrap. They wanted the wrap. And I'm here to tell you that wrap is still the same wrap, y'all. We just don't focus on it that much. But it's one of the most exciting products we have. Wow. And actually one of the most exciting products in the network marketing industry that can give you visible results in 45 minutes. That will last anywhere from 2 to 6 months. And it's affordable. And somebody can buy it for $25. and get results like that? I mean, to me, you know, we're missing the boat when we don't promote the wrap. I mean, I love the coffee. I love the products. I love everything that we have, but that wrap was magical and it still works. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't work. What happened then was that we told people how it worked and we told them what to expect and we made sure that they knew how to wrap.
Yeah.
You know, and so to this day, I still use this old video, some gal that was from Australia or something. She made it. She was a distributor. I loved her voice. I loved how she explained how it worked, why it worked, what you could expect, how to measure, what to do, little tips. And to this day, if I sell a wrap, I make sure that people do not put that wrap on until you have watched that video.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And so that way they get a good result, because what happened, Jared, was people, when social media came in, we weren't doing so much in person. I mean, I still was. I'm still always have been, always will be a belly to belly kind of marketer.
Really,
I like
even now?
being in people. Huh?
Wow, you're still belly to belly? Well, prior to COVID and all that, right?
Prior to that, yes.
Okay, all right.
No, the COVID has forced me to try to learn social media.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I just missed that boat.
Got it. So you've been doing, this is important to talk about because we've got a mix, I know in our team and probably in the company, of people that are extremely well versed and do extremely well with social media, specifically host to post, and we are enrolling like crazy from host to post. And then there's a segment of our team that are like you and like me to a large degree, that are belly to belly. We still get together and do in-home meetings and all those types of things. But I think this is so important, and I believe it's very empowering, because now we've heard a little bit about the mindset. And you guys light up the chat. They've been lighting up the chat, Melody. But light up the chat if you've gotten anything from the mindset component to this conversation, because we're going to have two different conversations. One is about mindset, which I believe is probably 80% of the success of the business. And the other 20% is method, your methodology, whether it be host to post, whether your method of exposure or building is online or offline. So we're going to get into the method part, the how-to part, because I know a lot of us on here, that's what people, man, I need to know, what does she do? How many people is she enrolling? Is she doing host to post? Is she driving by people's houses? What is she doing? Because you guys enrolled 104,000 people last year, almost 24 million in sales. So I know we're going to be able to pull a lot of information and insight. So let's talk about now mindset. I got it. From the moment you said, Melody, you drove an hour to go get the wrap, I said, okay, that's why she's successful. I don't need to hear, personally, I don't hear anymore. I don't need to hear about your methods. I don't need to hear about, you've already told me. A person that has the mindset that I'm going to drive an hour to go get a wrap and then come back, email 15 people about doing a meeting, and do the meeting to join on a Thursday, or get started on a Thursday, do a meeting on a Tuesday. See, I'm good with this stuff. Get the thing going on a Tuesday, because the sponsor's getting surgery or going into the hospital on a Wednesday. You've already told me all I need to know about your mindset. I get it. I'm clear. Now let's deal with the method, because here's where, we have this, I call it the delicate dance, right, between mindset and method. You say, okay, I am a belly-to-belly gal. Right? I do wrap parties. Let's dive into that. Let's talk about, maybe that first, your first, I don't know if you can recap or just give us what you can in terms of how you've gone about building the business. I know the first time you did 15 people or email 15 because of your influence, your relationship with these people. 12 of the 15s came, right? You enrolled lawyers, enrolled distributors, got off to a good start there. And we've got, I see Stephanie Allen in here. She's still doing wrap parties. Stephanie's still belly to belly, all those types of things. Those of you that are still very much doing belly to belly, put in the chat belly to belly, belly to belly. If you're doing social media, put in the chat social. I want to kind of get a depiction of both of them, because I believe we can learn from all the methods here. But Melody, talk to us about what that looks like, what your days looked like. For those of us just getting started, people just getting started today. We've got people that just got started last week. Some got started last month. Some are being taught, okay, this is the method, social. Some are being taught, no, this is the method, offline. Talk to us about what your days looked like and what they're looking now post-COVID, because we're all now embracing, whether it be Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I'm embracing MySpace at this point. So talk to us about what that looked like for you.
Oh my gosh. So I ended up, doing the wrap parties. I loved it. I loved seeing that product work time and time and time again. And every time it worked, I became more confident, that this thing was going to work no matter what. And the statistic was about 90% of the people got results with their very first wrap. I just knew if I could get it on them, they were either going to become my customer or they were going to become a distributor or they were going to do nothing. And if I followed up, they would end up doing something. So that's how I was building my business, was through wrap parties. And I got a great start. I mean, I went 72 wide, Jared. Didn't even know what I was doing. I mean, 72 on my front line. I could have been triple or something, and didn't even know it. But it's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I just knew I was making money. And so I signed up in June 2005. And by September, I was blowing and going. There was, well over 100 people in my organization at that point of distributors. And on September 2nd, see, Blair and I, our youngest daughter was killed in a car accident in 2002. She was 21 years old. And on September 2nd was her birthday. And this was 3 years after she had died. And I don't know, something just happened to me. And I just stopped. I stopped building my business. I went into this this dark place where I just didn't even want to get out of bed. And, at the time when she had died, my father became very, very sick right at that same time. And I just didn't have time to grieve. I put the tough exterior on, and I just kept on doing whatever I needed to do. And I think it just hit me then on her birthday, September the 2nd. And I shut down for 6 months. Nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't want to talk to my distributors. I did nothing, but I kept getting a check month after month after month of what the work I had done. And then in April, this is where God he's just so good. In April, I was laying in bed and I was awake. I wasn't asleep. And I sat up on the side of the bed and I was just like, I just don't want to get up. I just don't want to do anything. And I heard a voice. I heard an audible voice. And it said, do the Southern Women Show. I mean, when you think God's spoken to you, you're like, do the Southern Women Show? I mean, that's what you're going to say to me? Do the Southern Women Show? And I sat there thinking, I know I heard that. God, was that you? Were you talking to me? And about that time, my phone rang, and it was one of my distributors. And she goes, I was just sitting here thinking. She said, that Southern Women's Show is coming in 2 weeks, which is a women's expo with all things that women love, shopping and everything. And she goes, I was just thinking, I wonder if we could get a booth at that Southern Women's Show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are not going to believe it. I said, I just heard a voice, and it had to be God. And he just said, do the Southern Women's Show. Wow. And she said, well, I guess that's your sign. And so I called, and this was 2 weeks away. This is a huge show. I went every year as a goer. I was there, I loved going. I would save up money to go to the Southern Women's Show every year. Yeah. And I called them and I asked them if they had a booth availability. And she said, if you'd called me yesterday, I would have turned you down. She said, but I just had a booth cancellation. I've got one booth left. I said, I'll take it. I didn't even know what we were going to do. I just knew God said, do the Southern Women's Show. And it was $850. And I just like, Blair just is going to have to forgive me. I put my credit card on there and I booked that show. And I called Pam Souter and I said, hey, I just booked a women's expo and I have no idea what we're going to do there. Because I just couldn't fathom that we would wrap people in the booth. You know, I just couldn't fathom it. So she said, you know what? She goes, why don't you just cut those wraps and make chin wraps? And then go get you some ribbon and tie it up on top of their head and let them walk around. And then that way, that's simple. That's easy. You can do that in the booth. And I was like, that's perfect. So we did. We went and I got some lime green and white polka dot ribbon. And then we cut those chin wraps and had them all in these little baggies or whatever and had them ready to go. And we measured from earlobe to earlobe. And then we would put the chin wrap on, tie it up with the bow. And then we made these little stickers that said, don't laugh at me, I'm losing inches now. And they would walk around because they look silly, you know, and they would tell people where so they would tell people where our booth was. And before we knew it, we had people coming to the booth saying, I want to wrap my stomach. And I'm like, I don't even have the stuff to wrap anybody's stomach. So we were connected to a hotel because it was a big convention center in downtown Nashville. I sent one of the girls over to the hotel, said, go see if you can find saran wrap. And she came back with one of them great big industrial rolls from Cisco, you know, and we started taking girls to the bathroom. I mean, it was all the way on the other side of the convention center, and we would take them to the bathroom, wrap them, bring them back, and tell them to come back in an hour. And then we'd take them back and go remeasure and bring them back. And we had a line all the way down the aisle. We were the most exciting booth at that women's show. And we wrapped, I can't even tell you how many people we wrapped. Each day, it was 4 days long, and we wrapped people from the minute we got there till the minute we left. One after the next, after the next. Of course, the next day, we brought our own saran wrap and everything. But, you know, it was just so new. Nobody had done any kind of an expo before.
Right.
And we got real creative. We got a big old whiteboard, and we put on there, we called it the Biggest Loser board. And we put everybody's inch loss on there. We put Sally wrapped her tummy and lost X amount of inches in 45 minutes. And people were like, what? I will tell you, that's how I really started building my business, was through expos. And I hit the road, and I booked every kind of expo I could book, women's shows, whatever, and went on the road.
Okay. So your strategy, and I want people to be inspired and empowered by what you're sharing, because I think, well, I know this is my very first time hearing your story and hearing your strategy of growth, cutting from ear to ear, okay?
It looked like they had a toothache.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But you were willing, you heard from God. That's the first thing I got. You heard from God. Then he confirmed it by having a partner of yours call you and say, she heard this or she wanted to do this. And then you took action and didn't have all the resources that you needed at the time, but you still took the action. So let's fast forward the tape. So now everybody gets it. Remember, I told you guys and ladies, I was done after she told me she drove an hour to go get I got it. So remember, write this down, guys. How you do anything is how you do everything. The reason why she was willing to go do trade shows, the reason why she started driving all over all over Nashville, and I'm assuming all over the country, right, Melanie?
Yeah, all over.
It's the same mindset. That's why I tell you guys, it's nothing new. Whether you are, and the mindset is transferable. So maybe for you, you're not driving all around town doing expos, but the same mindset that Melody has is the same mindset that Jade Hooper had when she's under her blanket, messaging 100, 200, 300 people a day. It's the same mindset. You got it? Yeah. So the method will change depending here it is. the method always changes depending who the mentor is. So whatever the method may change, but the mindset is still the same. So Melody, let's fast forward the tape here. Talk to us about what you're doing, like in the last year. Because It Works has pivoted. We still have the raps. The raps are incredible. Many people on the team. I'm seeing us now. We're still doing rap parties and having folk come over and we're rapping. I mean, we're rapping them all over the place. But obviously, we've now included much of the consumables, whether it's the keto coffee, the skinny brew, the sleepy tea. We've got all this stuff now. So talk to us about what Melody and her team, and even some of your leaders, because one of the questions that always comes up is, where are all the good people? Where do I find the good people? I'm inboxing, I'm messaging, I'm doing meetings, I'm doing all this. Where and how did you find maybe some of your top leaders? You don't have to share their names or their stories if you don't feel compelled to, but talk to us about that. And then also now with some of the new products that we have, what are you doing? How are you incorporating? How are you still driving around town? Are you still doing in-homes? Or what are you doing? What does that day look like currently? Because we know what it looked like back then, which I'm totally inspired by. And I know many of you that are inspired by that, put that in the chat like, wow, mind blown, mind blown, mind blown. But talk to us about what you're doing currently.
Okay, so up until this year, I was still doing expos, still doing vendor events. I loved them. And we transitioned from wrapping over to sampling. Okay. And, doing the coffee and the collagen and the reds and the greens and, just doing those, the hydrate. And I would get enough off of those shows that would give me things to work with for months, leads to follow up on and all. The cool thing is that as I was doing these shows, if my goal was, when I left a show, was that if I could just find one good one, that's all I expected, or not expected, but I would tell God, if I could just get one good one, it will have been worth it. One good one. And when I say one good one, I mean somebody who's willing to drive that hour, somebody who's willing to get on auto ship, somebody who's willing to make their list and to get their customers, somebody who's willing to learn, that wants to learn, that's asking, what do I do now? Okay, I did this. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? Not somebody that you had to just talk them into it. Mm-hmm. I learned early on that I didn't have to be the end all be all. And that was a good thing, because I lack in so many areas. I'm so disorganized. I'm so forgetful. I'm so all over the place. But I have people who are organized. I have people that remember. I have people that are they make up well more than where I lack. And I'm not so ego-minded that I think I have to control it all. I don't. I mean, that's the beauty, is that if I can just surround myself with the people on my team who are good at the things that I can't do, and let them run with it and let them lead, and I was so grateful to learn that early on, that I didn't have to be the best one. I didn't have to. And so I just have always consistently built through doing the expos and the vendor events. And I would always, I would be the one that would pay for the cost of the booth and for all the stuff, and then handpick the team members that were building their business the correct way, who were workers, who I knew would follow up with the leads and wouldn't just go home and not touch a lead. The treasure's in the follow-up. Mm-hmm. And so, it took me 4.5 years to get to ambassador. So I went ambassador.
Whoa. You about to bless somebody. It took you 4.5 months to get to ambassador?
Years.
No, I'm sorry. It took you 4.5 weeks to get to ambassador.
No, years.
No.
Years.
No, I'm sorry. No. It didn't take you 4.5 years?
Yeah. And if you really want to look at it, 19.5 years.
Because the 15 prior
Yeah.
muster for all that combined.
Yeah.
So for you guys listening and ladies listening, put in the comments, I won't quit. I won't quit. 4.5 years to ambassador. Come on, light up the chat. I won't quit. I won't quit. 4.5 years. Okay, so Melody, now we're getting to the good stuff. This is my favorite part because we're talking strategy, we're talking methodology, what you're doing daily. You said the fortune is in the follow-up. I got it. You've hand-selected the team of workers, not the team of whiners, to be with you at the events, to do these various things. And many of us, we're doing this in our own way. Many people are strategic in their own way of collaboration on their team, whether they're doing power hours. Some of them, they have their own private WhatsApp groups. Others have their private team pages, and they're collaborating and connecting. Because I always teach there's a difference between the group and the team. The team are the people, the workers, not the whiners. The team are the people that have the dream, and we're working together and collaborating. But talk to us about this. 4.5 years. I've been in the business 2 years. We've been in here 2 years. We celebrated our 2-year anniversary on September 2nd. It took us 60 days to get to presidential. And after we hit presidential, we had several people on that were part of the team. Melody, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you, we had several people within our first year have a stupid attack. Yeah, they had a stupid attack. They started drinking poison, expecting other people to die from it, and they quit. So we hit the wall. Our organization hit the wall, fell flat, and we were no longer requalifying presidential. We were requalifying for months and months and months, and then we just kind of hit this wall in 2019, and we stopped requalifying presidential. We went down we started requalifying triple, and then we went even further and started requalifying double diamond for 7 whole months. It was excruciating. I was bewildered. I was perplexed. I was mentally defeated. I was exhausted. I was, in the words of Fannie Lou Haman, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had a decision to make. Do I push through, or do I make an excuse and push out? Melody, talk to us about that 4.5-year window between going from distributor to ambassador, because I always tell people, and you guys want to write this down, every ambassador has a past, but every distributor has a future. That 4.5-year window. Talk to us about the emotional and the mental toughness, what you were doing, what you were listening to on a daily basis, and why you didn't quit. Even I'm assuming during that 4.5-year period of time, there may have been other people succeeding, other people growing. I don't know if you've had a time over this last 15 years where you've ever felt like quitting, going to another company, or just being done with It Works, or being done with the industry, or your volume went down, or people quit your team and joined somewhere else and put up social media posts, or what, I don't know. But talk to us about that aspect of the business and what you've done and continue to do to continue to move forward.
Okay, so when I started working again in April of 2006, because I didn't work for 6 months. When I got focused, I went diamond in June of 2006, just wrapping people. I mean, you know, how many people could I wrap? That was my mindset. If I can just get it on them, they're either going to do one of 3 things, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And that was my whole thought, was it's numbers, it's numbers, it's numbers. The ones that are going to do it are going to present themselves, right? And so I went double diamond in September of 2006. So June to September, double diamond. And then in January of 2007, Mark called all the diamonds and above to come to Greensboro, North Carolina for a meeting. There were 7 of us there. The company was established in 2001. So the company was 6 years old, okay? Nobody had gone triple yet. 6 years, y'all. And so at that meeting is when Mark introduced the diamond bonuses. You know, the 80, 80, 80s and all. Well, back then it was 50 going up to 100. And then he said, whoever goes triple diamond first is going to get an all expense paid trip to your choice, Jamaica or Cancun. And I punched Blair and I said, that's my trip. I'm doing it. And that was January of 2007. We got home. We were so excited, so on fire. And then I got devastating news that my little sister had been diagnosed with lung cancer. And she was in stage 4. And they didn't give her very long to live. They said if she lived 6 months, you know, that would be stretching it. And I told Blair, I said, I don't want to waste any time with and not be with her. I want to be with her. Spend all the time I can. And I'll never forget, I went over to her house and she knew what I was doing in the business. She was so proud of me. And she was 8 years younger than me. And she was just so excited about what was happening in my business. And I went over there to her and I said, you know, I just want to spend time with you. I've already talked to Blair. He said, it's okay. I'm going to come off the road and I'm just going to put my business on the back burner for now because I just want to spend time with you. And she looked at me and she said, are you kidding me? She said, don't you realize you're doing what you were born to do? And it just hit me. Oh my gosh, at 50 years old, maybe this is what I was born to do. And she said, you've got so many people looking to you. And she pushed me out the door. She said, don't you dare stop what you're doing. You get out there and you build your business and you build it big because this is what you were born to do. She said, this isn't about me and you. This is much bigger than just me and you. And so with her blessing, I went back out on the road. By the end of March, I was the company's first triple diamond. And I called her first thing and she was so excited. I can hear her voice today. And 1 week later, she passed away. And that same week was the Southern Women's Show. A whole year since I had done the first Southern Women's Show in that April in 2006. Now it was the Southern Women's Show again in April. And I'm like, I just lost my sister. She died on Monday. We buried her on Wednesday. And that show started on Thursday. And I'm telling you, I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
My flesh said, you're grieving.
Yeah.
How can you go out there and be happy? How can you go out there and put a smile on your face? Yeah. And I just heard her voice saying, this ain't about me and you. This is much bigger than just me and you. And I had girls that had not ever worked the booth before.
Yeah.
They were working and they were counting on me.
Yeah.
And so I had to do it. And I was so grateful that I did, because then some more good people came out of that, you know. And then moving forward, that was March or April when I did that show again. And it took me till October to become presidential.
Yeah.
So it was the company's first real conference was going to be in Tampa, Florida. The company was still up in Michigan, but they were going to have their conference in Tampa, Florida.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to speak on that Friday night. Now, I was the only presidential at the time. There weren't any other presidentials yet. And I had just gone, I mean, I was working towards going presidential when my father passed away. And he died on Wednesday, and I was supposed to be on a plane going to Florida on Friday. And my mom, my mom and dad were my biggest cheerleaders. My mom still is to this day. But my mom said, you know what? We're just going to do a graveside service in Missouri. My dad's from Missouri, and it's about 5.5 hours from here. And she said, we're going to get him transported over there. We'll just go over there, do a graveside service, and we'll come back, and you're going to be on that plane on Friday. And again, I heard my sister saying, it's not about you. There's people counting on you. You're supposed to speak, and we did that. We drove 5.5 hours, buried my dad, drove 5.5 hours back on that Thursday, and was on the plane to Florida. And then another 2 years later, took me 2 more years to get to ambassador.
Wow.
So it was 2 full years, and nobody else had gone ambassador yet. And I'm getting ready to go ambassador. Everything's lined up. I got it all ready to go. I just had a double diamond that needed to finish out with some volume, and it was just, everything was right there. And on the 20th, I was getting ready to go to Puerto Rico to do a show there.
Yeah.
I had booked a hair show, and I was so excited to get to go to Puerto Rico. Blair was going with me, and we were going to go a couple of days ahead of time, and then the show was going to start on November 1st. And so we were leaving on the 29th and flying over there. On the 25th, my mom calls, and she said, your nephew, my nephew, my brother's only child, 33 years old, died of pneumonia. And I was like, Freddie died? Oh my gosh, my nephew. And then within a couple of hours, she called again and she said, you're not going to believe this. Your Uncle Gary just died of a massive heart attack in Missouri, my dad's brother, my favorite uncle in the world. And I'm like, God, how can this be? How can this be? Why does this always happen? And we went and had 2 funerals, 2 burials, and I was on that plane heading to Puerto Rico. I couldn't tell you, I was so exhausted from it.
Yes.
But I knew I had to be there. I mean, there was no way I was going to call and say I can't come. And somehow I was like, I don't care if I go ambassador or not. At that point, I was just totally mentally done. Yeah. And I decided, if I go ambassador, great. If I don't, I just can't even. Now, we didn't have the back office that we have today.
Okay.
And in fact, we had Steve Radius on the phone that I could pick up the phone and call and say, where am I? What do I need?
Right.
He was my charter.
Wow. Wow.
So on the 31st,
yes,
I woke up that morning and I heard my sister saying, you better get ambassador done. So I called Steve Radius and I said, what do I need? He said, you're right on it. There's just a little bit of volume left. And the gal who was lacking that little bit of volume called me. I didn't call her. She didn't even know. Nobody knew I was going to ambassador.
Nobody knew. You didn't even tell the team.
No.
I'm like that. I never tell the team because I don't make it about me. So you didn't even tell your team you're going.
No, they didn't know.
Wow.
But she called me and she goes, and she had been qualifying month after month after month at Double Diamond. And she was lacking about 6,000 in volume. And she said, hey, I just want you to know, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get my volume. She said, I'll have it done. And I said, seriously? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I don't want to miss my Double Diamond, And I said, oh, okay. Well, good. And I went ambassador on October 31st, 2009. Wow. And I have qualified month after month. I have never in 11 years lost my ambassador.
Shucks.
Never.
Hey.
No. Because I did not build boxes, y'all. I did not build boxes.
What did you build? Talk to us about
relationships.
I didn't build, write that in the comments, guys. I didn't build boxes. I built relationships.
Yeah.
And we're almost out of time. We're at 9:01. We scheduled an hour for this. But if, I don't know. I'm just taking it on faith. Guys, in the comments, if you want Melody, if she can go for another 10 minutes, just write, I got 10, I got 10, I got 10 on it. Put that in the comments. I got 10, I got 10 on it, I got 10. If I don't see at least 30, 40 feet, I got 10, then we're going to have to cut it off. Melody, do you have 10 more minutes?
I do. I actually do. And
You
in
do.
fact,
Okay, all right. I'm taking it up on faith. Oh, all right. So
I'm going to grab something. I'm going to grab
we're gonna
something.
be right
I want
here.
you to see this. It's just
Okay,
right
we're
here.
gonna be
Hang
right
on.
here.
I'm gonna grab
We ain't
it.
going nowhere. Come on, guys.
All right.
Are you getting something out of this? If you're getting some out of it, come on, write in the comments. I'm getting it. 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 Come on, come on, come on. Listen. Now, listen. This is my first time talking with her in depthly like this. So I'm like a kid in a candy store, just like you. I'm blown away by her mindset, by her methods, traveling, all the deaths taking place. Did that not grab your heart? For those of you hearing this story for the first time or the 10th time or the 100th time, your sister telling you it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
That grabbed me. That grabbed me because I'm telling you, lady, if you guys can grab a hold to just that philosophy, just that principle, you won't quit when you realize it's bigger than just you. Your yes to this is the doorway to thousands of people realizing their dreams. Melody, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm going to swing it back over to you. I see you're back. Go right on ahead.
All right. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning because this is so important. What did it for me? After 15 years in network marketing with no success, when I got introduced to It Works, I jumped in with both feet. The product worked. I got excited. Yeah. And normally I pray about everything I do. Every decision I make, I always pray and ask God, is this in your will? Is this your will for me? Is this what you have for me? And if it is, great. And if it ain't, close the door, And so I jumped right in and I didn't even ask God about it. I just jumped in. And a couple of weeks into everything's just going crazy. I mean, I'm making money hand over fist. It's just nuts. And I had a moment when I was like, oh, I didn't even ask God about this. I mean, really and truly ask him if this is what he had for me. And so I took that minute and I just sat down with God and I said, Lord, this looks great, Lord. This thing is it's just busting wide open. It looks awesome to me. But, I don't want it, Lord, if it ain't from you. And if this is from you, I just need a sign. Give me a sign. Because, Lord, we've done 15 years and we're tired. And I just don't know if we've got any more in us. I just don't know if I could do it one more time. Even though I'm excited about this, Lord, really, is this for us? Is this what you have for us? And I kid you not, within, I don't know, it was not even 2 hours, I was flipping through a magazine. And in the magazine was a full-page ad for curves for women. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I have this full-page ad here in my office. I framed it. It's a little girl riding on a bicycle. And in red letters, to me, I'm in the Bible Belt, red letters is Jesus talking.
That's right.
And look what it says. I don't know if it's backwards to y'all.
It says, think of everything you'd miss if you didn't believe in trying again.
Boom. And I knew that was my sign. And I look at all I would have missed. I've got goosebumps everywhere.
Hey.
I look at everything I would have missed. The friendships, the dreams, the highs, the lows, all of it. But mainly the relationships. What I would have missed if I hadn't believed in trying again.
Oh.
And so you never know, you guys. You just never know. What if you quit? And the next person you talk to would have been your rock star. Because all it takes is one spark, y'all. One spark. Because then once you get that spark and that fire going, then another one's going to come along. And another one's going to come along. And it doesn't have to be the ones you personally bring in.
Yeah.
As long as you got, I always say, don't just stop at 3 wide, at least go 5 wide. Keep going until you find 5 good quality legs.
Okay. Okay.
because then you'll be more profitable. 3 is narrowing down your profitability. Makes it easier to promote, but you really need, I still say 5 to make some good paychecks.
Okay.
All right.
You went 72 wide. I heard you.
I did. And out of that today, I have at least 10 good legs that are working.
10
Mm-hmm.
good ones that are working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything else you want to share before you close us out in prayer? This is the first time on this session that I've closed out or asked the mentor to close us out in prayer, but I just feel compelled, led, and I don't want to offend anybody. And if you're offended, I understand. But I just feel compelled and led, Melody, to have you close us out in prayer tonight. Let whatever anointing and grace that is on your business and on your life be on the lives of those people.
I'm honored to do it.
Listening here. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, you guys, if you will just bow with me in prayer. Father God, we just thank you so much for this time together, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for the words that you had me speak tonight, Lord. I felt you speaking through me. Father, I pray that these were words that somebody needed to hear. And I thank you, Lord, for all the good things to come for not only these people here, but for our whole company. Lord, I ask you to give open doors to the people who are just seeking to build their business, that are looking, Lord, to bless other people. And Father, we just thank you for all the blessings that you've given us. We thank you for this business of It Works. And we thank you for Mark and Cindy, Lord. And we thank you for Pam and Mike. And thank you for Jared and Portia and the leaders of this team, Lord. We just ask that you would just give them a fresh perspective, a belief that they can do this. Everyone that's listening within the sound of my voice, Lord, give them a belief in themselves that they can do this. Because Lord, if you are for us, who can be against us, right? So we just thank you, Lord. We put this meeting in your hands, Lord. We just ask you to bless it. And we just ask for your wisdom and your just, wow, Lord, we just thank you. We thank you for everything you do for us. And we give it all, and we give you all the praise and the honor and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. Melody, you have blessed us tonight. Guys, come on, light up these chats. Come on, light up the chat. Let us know that you receive it. I am so full. God, I heard you. I don't build boxes. I build relationships. That's good. Yep. Melody, thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been absolutely phenomenal. You hearing your story, hearing your struggle, gleaming from your methodology and your strategies of how you've done this and continue to do it 15 years later. I knew this was going to be powerful, but I had no idea it would be this strong. So thank you so much for being on. Ladies and gentlemen, get on social media, post, comment, tag us in what resonated, some of what she talked about. Put it on there. People need to hear this. We'll have the replay up on the website. We'll send it out to you guys. This is a month to remember. I told you, sold out September. Sold out. You got to get sold out in September. And you heard from someone tonight that not only sold out in September, but has sold out for the last 15 years. Can you do it for the next 15 days? I believe you can. God bless you. God bless your families. And God most certainly bless your dreams. Good night, everybody.
Good night.